you have now explored a huge number of verses and stories from the Bible. So now would you be able to answer this question? According to the Bible, what is the earth? What is it? Well, before answering what it is according to the Bible, let's start by saying what it's not. It is not divine, like the goddess Gaia in Greek mythology. Or we could go see, the Hindus, which have many gods. One is the earth. Or other types of spiritualities and neo-pagan spiritualities or religions. They'll identify the earth as being divine. Maybe also in some spiritualities, I'm thinking of the First Nations, the indigenous, will quite often refer to Earth as Mother Earth. And the Bible never talks about that. The Bible talks about God, the Creator, being, he's usually represented as masculine, obviously. It's part of our tradition, and even Jesus says, "Our Father, who art in heaven." But as I showed in Job 38, God is talking about giving birth to the oceans and then wrapping the whole world, swaddling. And there's this motherly love. And every time we hear the word mercy, for example, in the Old Testament, the Hebrew word for mercy is a word directly related to a mother's innards, to a uterus. And so when God has mercy on us, when God is merciful, well, it's this very motherly impulse of loving your children no matter what. Ezekiel talks about motherly aspects of God. So, if we're irritated about just God the Father and we're trying to plug the mother aspect somewhere, let's not put it on the earth. Let's put it on God. God is mother and father. The reason, maybe now more personally, that I don't identify the earth as mother, well, it also implies the fact that she would be a goddess, and we only believe in one God. So we can't add another one saying, oh, the earth is a goddess. But also, about this motherly aspect, I get why some cultures, some religions consider the earth as mother. This idea of feeding, of providing. When we walk through a forest and we see an abundance of things we can eat, it's the earth that's providing and nourishing us. So I get that. But then again, with other natural processes we see on Earth, a mother doesn't send a hurricane to flood and destroy and kill so many people and other creatures. A mother doesn't do that. A mother doesn't send earthquakes that terrorize people and mudslides, and people die and other creatures' habitats are totally destroyed. A mother doesn't do that. Tsunamis either. Volcanoes either. And so I see a real limit to that idea of Mother Earth, and I personally don't like it because it's not part of the biblical tradition. None of the monotheistic religions believe in Mother Earth. It's not part of our doctrines. Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. So obviously, when I'm in times of interfaith dialogue, I love the authentic way they talk about it. If I'm speaking with natives or Hindus, I'm very, very respectful of how they talk about it. But then when they ask me, what is the earth to you? Well, then I talk about, the fact that it's God's creation, and other things that we'll see in just a moment. Okay, let's continue talking about what the earth is not. It is not the body of God. That's called pantheism. Where does the word pantheism come from? Pan means everything, and theism, theos, God. So God is everything. That's what it means. So the everything, when you add everything up, that's God. We are experiencing God's body. Well, no, the Bible doesn't say that at all. In the Bible, God is presented mainly as transcendent, which means there's our reality, and then He is beyond our reality. He's in the heavens of heavens. And then sometimes we get some insight from Him, the burning bush, or the Paul's Emos moment. So there's that, which is, I'd say, the main way to present God. And then there's also, so there's transcendence, and there's also immanence. So God dwells also in creation. And it's His creating spirit that makes everything come alive, and He renews everything. That's the immanence of God. But it still doesn't mean that the world is His body. Okay, so theism is really strictly transcendence, and even to the point where you can see there's like no contact between the two. Pantheism is God equals the universe. The whole of the universe is God, God's body. Okay, so the first one is not typically biblical. The second really is not. And the third one, what is that? Panentheism. So there's the universe, material universe, obviously. And then God is the universe is within God, and then God is much bigger. Panentheism now means that you have theism, God, pan, everything, but the en in between the two means that everything is within God, or God is a bit in everything, but the whole isn't God. God is much bigger than that. There's still this idea of transcendence, but also immanence at the same time. Okay, so it's very limiting to say that the world is God's body. It's not the case, but God is present in the world, but much bigger. There you go. That's a biblical perspective. Okay, let's continue with some of our very real modern challenges. The earth is not an infinite resource. The Bible comes back on this idea very often that, there is abundance when everything goes well. There is abundance. But to say it's an infinite resource, no. No, Leviticus 25:26 goes with this idea that if we respect the commandments, well, then we'll get the rain, and we'll get the harvests and all of that. But no, the earth is presented still as being limited in the Bible. For its resources, some places might be abundant, but it's not infinite. But that's one of our myths today, in the modern world. Look at the stock market. The way it works is we believe we'll have infinite growth. And there are infinite resources that we can just keep on mining and extracting. The other thing that the Bible does not suggest about the earth is that it's a trash can, an infinite trash can. The Bible doesn't talk about trash a lot, but sure sends a message that we should not be wasting. And obviously, overconsumption goes with wasting, goes with piling up all that trash afterwards. Yeah, so the Bible doesn't defend that idea that the earth is an infinite trash can. So we should not be defending that either. The Bible does suggest that the earth is fragile. There are times where in the Bible that we have to be careful the way we treat it. And that the earth is fragile and we can have an impact. And I talked about this with the prophets that said that environmental degradation that they were observing, and that was related to the sinfulness of the people. So every time in the Bible that there are droughts, we are showing how fragile the environment is. The people of Israel developed in a region of the world in a semi-arid climate where the environment is fragile. So that's something we can get from the Bible and talk about. And finally, these three things that I believe are in the Bible that talks about the earth. First of all, it's a place of belonging. It's a place. Genesis 2:7 is the fact that we are made from the stuff that surrounds us. And also Exodus 3:8, when God starts talking to Moses about the promised land. This is our promised land. There's a sense of belonging there that's very clear. Also, the earth is a book created or written by the Word. So in Genesis 1, God said, "Let there be light." God said, "Let the land produce vegetation." There's a fact that these creatures are created by the Word, so they are words that make up sentences, that make up a huge book. Psalm 19, just be attentive to the, listen and listen to all these words in creation. And Genesis 1, the Word becoming flesh. So the earth is a book. But finally, and the most important, the one in the middle, creation. The earth is creation. It's God's work. And we see this many times through the Bible. So when people say, "Oh, you don't call Mother Earth?" No, it's God's work. It's God's creation. "Oh, you don't believe the earth is God's body?" No. The universe is God's body? No. I believe that it's God's work. I believe it's a place of belonging, and that's what the Bible taught me. I hope that these give you good insights and help you understand what this whole message in the Bible boils down to, and trying to give a shorter answer when people ask. What is the earth? Now you know.